on the previous lesson, we talked about other HTML tags like the link tag, the A tag, P tag. We talked about void elements, elements that do not have a closing tag. We talked about elements that have a closing tag and an opening tag. All right. So today, what we'll be doing is we'll be building a website or a web page, right? And I've broken them down into different lessons. All right. So the topmost has the complete code, right? And we'll be starting from here. All right, so the first thing we're going to be doing, if you notice, I have my boilerplate. All right, so we talked about boilerplates in the previous lesson, and as you can see, I have everything completely set up. Right, I have my boilerplate set up. I am going to be giving this a title of cat application. All right, all right. So each lesson has instructions or tasks that we will be doing. All right, each of them have different tasks, as you can see. All right, so let's get on to it. Okay, so the first one says that we should add a heading element to our website. All right, so that's what we'll be doing. So let's do that. H1, and the text is going to be cat photo app. All right, so you want to open this in live server. All right, okay, so we have our application live, and you can see the H1 element, right? And you can see the text between the H1 element, and you can also see our title. You can also see our title of our application, the one I just put in the head tag, cat application. All right, so let's move over to the next lesson. All right, so lesson 2 tells us to add a H2 to the page. All right, we'll go ahead and do that. Now, by the way, in case you're wondering why we have this green text right here, these are called comments. So the browser ignores comments, right? And comments are what they are, they're comments. And if you want to, for me personally, I like my page to be structured, because sometimes you might move away from a particular website or application you're building, and when you come back, you'd have to go through the code to understand where you were, what you were thinking at the time. Comments help me to like understand what I was trying to do, or what the particular code or what that particular code was supposed to do, and it makes me like, it gives me a map of what I was trying to build at that point. So comments are very important to me. Okay, so they are ignored by the browsers. That's why you won't see them coming up on the web page. All right, so this says add H2 to the page with text. Okay, so we'll add a second element, H2. Right, in between the tag we have a text, cat photos. All right, so H means heading, and there are 6 of them. There's H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. H6 is the smallest, H1 is the largest. All right, so the next thing it says for us to do is to add a P tag. Add a P tag with text, everyone loves cute cats online. All right, and the next thing it says is to add another P tag, which says see more cat photos in our gallery. All right, and then we're going to add an image tag. Remember, an image tag is a void element. It doesn't have a closing tag. All right, so would have a source. Remember, a source is where we're getting the image from, right? Is where the image will come from. Um, and then the last thing is for us to add our p tag, and inside, all right, it says for us to put the p tags and the image tag inside the section tag. All right, okay, so we'll do that. All right, so we're going to have these guys. We're going to have these guys inside a section element. All right. All right. So let's save and let's check out our second. All right. So you can see our H1, our H2, and our text p tags, and then our image shows up here. Okay. So let's go to the third lesson. We're making progress. All right. So the third lesson, or rather the fourth lesson, there's nothing here. So we'll move to this one. It's still the same thing we have in the previous lesson we just finished. Okay, so on the next lesson we have a couple of tags, or this says that we should add another section tag, and so I'm going to add that below all the comments. So this says we should have a section tag, and then inside the section tag we'd have an h2 element with text cards list, and then h3 element with text things cats love, right? And then just below this guy would have an unordered list, so a ul tag, that's going to have 3 list items, right? It's going to have 3 list items. Okay, so inside the first one would have a text cat nip. Inside the second one would have laser pointers, and then inside the third one would have lasagna. Alright, and then the next thing it says is for us to have an image tag, which is going to have a source attribute of this guy here. Okay, and then we have another history element with text top 3 things cats hate. Alright, and then that will be followed with an ordered list that's going to have another list that's going to have 3 list items. Fleet treatment, thunder, and other cards. And then the last thing we have inside this section is an image tag. and would have it from this source. Alright, okay, so let's save up and see what we have. Alright, so you can see our tags, and then our image shows up as our images. Alright, looking great. Okay, let's move on to the next lesson. For this one, we have a couple of tasks. The first one says we should add all text to all the image elements. Alright, so on this first one, we have an attribute, an alt attribute. Alright, so an alt attribute is very important for screen readers, right? And just in case the image does not show up. So you have an alternative text just in case the image does not show up. So it has to be very descriptive. It has to describe the image you're trying to display properly. Alright, so yeah, it says a cute orange cat lying on his back. So a cute orange cat lying on his back. Great. The second one here, give it an alt attribute that says a slice of and a plate. And the third one says 5 cats looking around a field. Okay, so it says on the first section, next an A tag inside of your P tag around the text cute cats with an href attribute of this link. Okay, so it says inside this guy, just around this cute cat, we should put an A tag take this guy and put it inside the A tag, and okay, there, so we should have href. Remember we talked about the href elements in the href attributes in the previous lesson. And then we have this guy. Okay, and it says on the first section, next an A tag inside your second P tag around the cat photos. Okay, free cat photo app.com and a target attribute of blank. Okay, so it says around cat photos we should have an A tag. Alright, then inside the A tag, would have this text and would have this href. Copy it from here and paste it in here. Okay, and then it also says that we should have a target attribute. So what this target attribute does is that it opens up this link in a new tab. That's basically what it does. So it opens up the this particular link, the freecardphotoapp.com link in a new tab. Okay, so the last thing it says is to next the image element inside the tag, which okay, so this is going to be an a tag. Alright, so take off this guy here and have it here, and inside our opening a tag we have this href. um all right, great. So that's all the tasks for this lesson. Let's save that and have a look at it on our browser. Okay, so we have our links here. If you notice, we have our links here. So if you notice, this one loads right here. But let's say we go to the one that we have a blank target attribute with a blank value, and it takes us to a different tab. That's great. So let's go back to the last lesson. Okay, so we could add our we could nest our image element inside an element called the figure element, right? And since an image is basically a figure, and we can use that figure element to add captions. Alright, so on the second section it says we're going to have our figure element move this guy inside, and just below this figure element, sorry, below the image tag inside the figure element would have a fig caption, that says cats love. Right, there you go. It says on the second section, next the second img tag inside a figure element and add a fig caption. Okay, we'll do the same thing for this img element or image element. We have our figure, and then we'll take this guy inside, and just below the image tag we have our fig caption, and we'll give it the text cats hate other cats. Great. Alright, now there's one more thing, or there are two more elements I would love to add. Alright, so on this love, we are going to next, on this fig caption, we're going to next an em tag inside of it, or around the love text. Right, around this guy, we're going to next an em tag. Right, so what that means is emphasis, more like italics, if you want to think of it as that. Okay, so we'll do this. It's an em tag, and then we'll have love inside of it. Take this guy off, and we'll do the same thing for hate order. Alright, since hate is a strong word, we use since hate is a strong word, we'll use a strong element um, and so let's see what that gives us. All right, save this and open it with our live server, and let's see what we have. All right, so if you notice here, it has the love text has an italics to it, and you can see the hit becomes bold. All right, the hit text becomes bold. All right, so you have it. There you have it. We have our very first HTML page. You can see it's like basic structure. It has no styling, no colors. Um, is this enough to? Is this enough for you? Is this all you need to like build a website? If you want a website that just has basic information like this or information like this, this is enough. But I would say no, you're probably going to need CSS and JavaScript if you want to build something that is modern and professional. You're going to need to learn CSS and JavaScript. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me. See you on the next lesson.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.